That reliability will hold you in good stead through the ups and downs of your career, because once people know that you are reliable, then they tend to give you the benefit of the doubt if for some reason it doesn't go well this time or that project didn't come out just so. From commitment to execution, how do you make sure that people see you as reliable in your organization? Let's talk about how to transform how you are perceived in your organization. I'm a big fan of saying that the way people perceive you will directly impact how they deal with you. And most importantly, you can train people to think about you in the way that you want them to think about you. And I always give the advice, think of 3 adjectives that you want people to use to describe you when you are not in the room, because all of the important decisions and all of the important discussions about you happen behind closed doors in a room where you are not present. And one of those adjectives, especially early on in your career or early on in any new environment, one of those adjectives needs to be reliable. You want people to think and to say that you are reliable. Oh, if you give it to James, you don't have to worry about it. It's done. You give it to Stacy, you don't have to worry about it. It's going to be done. It's going to come in on time, and it's going to be right. Or you can give it to Janice, and she will always use the resources appropriately. And most of the time, she is under budget. She's the right person to give this important project to. That reliability will hold you in good stead through the ups and downs of your career, because once people know that you are reliable, then they tend to give you the benefit of the doubt if for some reason it doesn't go well this time or that project didn't come out just so. Now, how do you make sure that people see you as reliable? Well, a lot of that has to do with under-promising and over-delivering, and you want to make sure that you are consistent in your behavior. And you want to make sure that you do what you say that you will do. And when it comes to meetings, you can do little things like showing up a few minutes early. I used to have a colleague that I looked up to who said, if you show up to a meeting on time, you're already late. So consistently, whether it was a client meeting or an internal meeting, he was always there early. I could never beat him to a meeting, unless, of course, I came a half an hour early. But he was generally there 15 minutes before the meeting started. And he was getting himself prepared. He was reading something else, but he was in the room. And you know what else I noticed? It gave him the ability to control the room, because everybody had to come in and speak to him. So the perception was that he was ready. And sure enough, when he spoke in a meeting, he was always on point. He always had the right questions. And it also worked for him competitively. By showing up at a client a little bit early when we were doing competitive pitches, he got a chance to see the traffic in and out. So time and time again, he could figure out who our competition was, because he was already sitting there either in the lobby or somewhere nearby when they walked out. So he would know that it was this competitor versus that competitor. And he could factor that in to his presentation when he was pitching about our ability to execute that business. He could do the compare and contrast and use just the right names because he had seen them leave the building. So showing up early also gives people the perception that you are in fact reliable. Making sure that you have checked your work, and that you have good reasons when there are assumptions involved as to why you made these assumptions versus those assumptions. Demonstrating that you read background information beyond that which you needed to produce. All of those things give people the air that you're pretty reliable, that they can count on you to deliver what they ask you to deliver. And then also being able to say what you can't do and saying that up front, or saying that you could only do a portion and not all of it, but defining that which you can do as opposed to over-promising and then not being able to deliver. So setting yourself up very early on that you are in a new environment as somebody who always delivers will hold you in very good stead and will positively impact your reputation and the perception of you in that organization. That's how you transform any perception that could be out there that might not be in your favor, by having that reliable adjective front and center at all times. Go get them.